Well, hello everybody and welcome to Vinyltreasures. I'm your host, Johnny G. Want to welcome you to the All 78 show this February 6th, 2025 on this kind of like terrible day here in Westchester County, New York. What is it, 33? It says cloudy, but I don't know. It looks like it's raining. It was hailing earlier. I had somebody here to shovel the front. It was too icy for Johnny G to go out. So sit back for the next few hours here. I don't know how long. We'll see. Maybe 2.5 hours. I pulled like 30-something 78s to play. We'll see how far we get at a new time period, 3 o'clock, so 3 o'clock Eastern time. Thank you all those of you that are in the YouTube chat room here. I don't know what's going on with this. I probably have to reestablish it because I can't see the playback, but I'm sure I had the same thing last night all of a sudden. I don't know why. But I can't see what you see. I mean, I see what's coming across my visual on OSB, but I don't see what's going into the studio. So something's wrong there. But hey, you can still see Johnny G, so that is a good thing. So welcome here. We opened up today's show with Charles Brown. I featured Charles Brown on the last 78 show. He was a pianist and vocalist for Johnny Moore's Three Blazers, who were providing the instrumentation on this tune. I should say the flip side, which included a group called the Song Stylists. The song was called Let's Walk. I featured that last week here, or a couple weeks ago on the 78 show, and we just heard the instrumental flip side, released in April of 1954. It was called Blazers Boogie, and it featured Charles Brown on the piano there. Interesting thing about this particular 78, though, the flip, if you check the flip on this Aladdin, which is 3235, it's supposed to be Crying Mercy. So I don't know what is it with this 78 here, because it appears that they released a tune that was originally done back in September of 1945 on the Philo label, and then I think it would eventually come out on the Aladdin label, Aladdin number 111 and Philo number 111. So I don't know what happened with this, but they put it behind this. Maybe it was like a rush out. Maybe Aladdin rushed this or the flip side out and didn't have a flip side to put on it, so they put that intro. But anyway, we opened up from April 1954 on the Aladdin record label, Charles Brown with Blazer Boogie. And you know we count down the music chronologically here on the 78 show. I have a number of flips from a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to open up with one as I featured the Cats and the Fiddle on RCA with a tune called Chant of the Rain. And the press that I featured came out in January of 1948. Now, first came out in April of 1940 on the Bluebird record label, but RCA would often repackage a lot of the songs, put them out on a later date, maybe in little box sets or whatever, or maybe the record was big by somebody else. So this is a re-release that came out in January of 1948. Now, both sides of the record were recorded in June 27th of 1939. So let's give a listen to the flip side of that Chant of the Rain. It features Austin Powell on lead. He also wrote the song. These are the Cats and the Fiddle on RCA. It's called I'd Rather Drink Muddy Water. The Cats and the Fiddle.
Got to have little talk. I ought to pack up my things and walk. I know a dollar goes from hand to hand before I let you go from man to man. muddy water, sleep in a hollow log. Yes, yes, working for you just like a Georgia mule. My friends laughed and they called me a fool. Your kisses are as sweet as can be. Before I let you make a sap out of me, I'd rather drink muddy water, sleep in a hollow log. Get out there, Papa. I'm talking about that. Love you, baby, but you won't be there. You don't know how to be on the square. Have your fun, baby, if you must. Before I'll have a woman I can't trust, I'd rather drink muddy water, sleep in a hollow log. Yeah, yeah. Da, 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 sing it. Da, 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 da,
There you go with an early side there by the Cats and the Fiddle. That one there originally released, what did I say, April of 1940. That copy, which plays really nice, from January 1948 on the RCA record label, Cats and the Fiddle with I'd Rather Drink Muddy Water. I don't know about that. That's kind of pushing it, I would say, but let's continue here. And let's move into 1941 now with this group from Wilberforce, Ohio. I could play one of their 78s every day, I should say on every 78 show. They signed with Columbia Records in 1939, but then in 41 they were moved over to the OK subsidiary, and this was recorded on August 25th of 1941, released in October of that year. Their 7th of 9 for the OK record label, and this is from the 1941 musical Jump for Joy, October 41 release. Let's give a listen to the Charioteers on the OK record label, and the song is called, it's one word, it's called Nothing.
Boy, it isn't red, it isn't green, it can't be seen, it's nothing. It isn't wide, it isn't tall, it isn't small, it's nothing. It's a dance that no one dances, it's a song that no one sings, it's a joke that no one laughs at, it's a thing to end all things. It isn't here, it isn't there, it's everywhere, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's like Georgia without peaches. It's Niagara without falls. It's Miami without the beaches. It's a baby without dolls. It has no shape. It has no form. You getting warm. It's nothing.
There you go. That's the sound of the Charioteers, October 1941 release on the OK record label. The song entitled Nothing, that's their 7th of 9 on OK Records. Tons and tons of releases. Frank Gingaro mentioned those 33 1/3, those cool. I have a few. Greg sold me a few of those. I think I have 3 or 4 of them, or maybe 5. I don't know. But they were also put out. I guess it was the new median that Columbia was doing those. But I guess it just didn't take those 33 1/3 releases. It looks kind of weird, too, when they play on the turntable. But anyway, I should pull some of those. I see them in the box. Anyway, Johnny G babbling on here. Now, I'm sure many of you listeners out there are familiar with a group called the Jive Bombers. They were from, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. They had a big hit in early 1957 with a song called Bad Boy, which I think they recorded earlier, but Savoy had the big hit with that in early 1957, but they got their start back in the 1930s. The trio included brothers Clarence, Dick, and Ernest Palmer. And they became one of the first harmony trios to sing with big bands, which included Count Basie and this band leader, Mr. Cab Calloway. Now, this song first came out in August of 1941, released on the OK record label, but Columbia would re-release it in October of 1950. That's how I have it on the Columbia record label. And so let's give it a spin here. Cab Calloway and the Palmer Brothers. Did I mention that they sang as the Palmer Brothers? I hope I did. But they are the Palmer Brothers. This one from originally from October. Well, no, it was from 1941. I said August 41. This copy from October 1950. They're backing up Cab Calloway. It's called "I See a Million People, but all I can see is you." The Palmer Brothers backing up Cab Calloway.
I see a million people, but all I can see is you. I I hear a million voices, but only your voice comes through. I wait for your footstep, I've waited before. I know that it's you if you knock on the door. I know you're around by the sound of my pounding heart. I see a million faces, but what do I really see?
I see
a million little traces bringing you back to me.
Back to me. Oh, baby, come back.
And try as I may to forget to care. What can I do if you're always there? I see a million people, but all I can see is you.
I see a million faces, but what do I really see? A million little traces keep bringing you back to me.
And try as I may to forget to care, what can I do if you're always there? I see a million people, but all I can see is you.
A million people, but all I can see is you.
There you go. I bet you never heard that song before. That's Cab Calloway along with the Palmer Brothers. Yes, Clarence Palmer in that Palmer's Brothers. Of course, he was the lead singer of the Jive Bombers on Bad Boy and other releases on Savoy. I mean, even prior to that, too, by the way. October 1950, that one there, that's the copy I have on the Columbia record label, but originally released in August of 41 on the OK record label. I bet you my mother liked that tune. I would bet $100. That's called I See a Million People, parentheses, but all I see is you. Johnny G can't see you, but you can see me. And if you're new to the program here, those of you finding out about our second show of the week, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and click that bell to get all notifications. If you like these tunes, I was debating to do this show every couple weeks, but I guess I'm a little bit in better shape today than I was at the 2 o'clock hour, but I still could be a little better. But it's okay here. Johnny G will get through it here. So thank you all for being here. I hope you're enjoying these tunes here. Songs you really don't hear. I mean, you can go and search them out on maybe they're on YouTube. I don't know if they're all on YouTube. When I was researching a lot of the records, I didn't find them on I often mention 45 Cat as having that's a big database of records. You can see the labels and some information about it, but not everything is on that 78 website. Most of them are, and whoever is managing that 78, I think they do a lot better with the dating of the records. I don't know, because the people that put in the information on 45 Cat, I don't know where they get some of their dates. They're not correct. But I noticed that a lot of the dates on the 45 Whirls is pretty accurate, in my opinion. But let's continue here. Let's move up to 1944 now. Way before Johnny G's time. Maybe some of you guys and gals have been around. My Aunt Mary was 1 year old, I think, in 1944, because she was born in November of 43. But this record came out in July of 44, and this is actually a flip side from a couple weeks ago. I opened the show with an instrumental female band leader, her name Christine Chapman, and her orchestra. And the opening instrumental was called Naptown Boogie, came out in July of 1944. Now, she specialized in playing the piano and the accordion. And she was also a vocalist and a songwriter. Now, the flip side, very interesting, because the flip side of this is a vocal that features Mabel Smith on the vocal. And maybe some of you know who Mabel Smith is. Well, later on, many of you know her as Big May Bell. She would record as Big May Bell. Featured her not too long ago here on the 78 show on Savoy with her tune Candy. She also recorded for OK Records. But she did the first version of Whole Lot of Shakin' Going On, too, by the way, which I don't have on the 78. I have it on the 45. But she is doing vocal on this, and this is a cover tune. This was first done by Savannah Churchill, and she was singing with the band Benny Carter and his orchestra. That came out in February of 44. And then also that June, Wynoni Mr. Blues Harris did it on, I think, with Lucky Melinder and his orchestra. That was in July of 44. But let's give a listen to this version from June 44. This is July 44. It's Christine Chapman and her orchestra, and it features Big May Bell on lead. This tune is called Harry Harry. This is on the Decca label.
The mailman walked right by my door today. The mailman walked right by my door today. Didn't bring no letter, just kept going on his way. Hurry, hurry, baby, I can't hold on much more. Hurry, hurry, baby, I can't hold on much more. Seems like every day I love you more than the day before. Keeping mine all in store. When you come home, baby, I'll pull down the shades and lock the door. And throw the key away.
There you go. That's early Big May Bell. Early Big May Bell from July 1944. She was Mabel Smith. That was her name, Mabel Smith. That's Christine Chapman and her band with Mabel Smith on the vocals there. Her rendition of the tune Harry Harry came out on the Decca record label. Some of these Deccas are rough with the recycled vinyl, but what do you expect? During wartime, they were running out of the petroleum products to manufacture, or at least get the right consistency for these 78s, so they were reusing melting down old 78s, and unfortunately the vinyl was not really good, and that's just unfortunately how they sound. But let's continue here on the Vinyltreasure show. Let's move up 2 years to 1946 now with this group from Hampton, Virginia, which included Vernon Gardner, Edward Ware, Carter Wilson, and lead singer Harry Douglas, collectively known as the Deep River Boys. Now, after releases on the Bluebird record label, also Majestic and Pilot Pilotone. Yeah, they were on the RCA record label. They had 20 releases on RCA. This was the B-side of their first, a tune written by Tommy Edwards and Jimmy Hillard. This song first recorded by Louis Jordan and his Timpani 5, that one there earlier in 1946. This one came out in April of 46. Let's give a listen to the Deep River Boys on the RCA record label. The song is called That Chick's Too Young to Fry. The Deep River Boys.
Say, boy, don't you harm that bird. Don't you dare to try. Start releasing that chicken or you'll get a licking. The chick's too young to fry. Now looky here, boy, better take my word. Here's the reason why. Gotta feed her up steady until she gets ready. Chick's too young to fry. Take her back into the barnyard. Then let her go, just turn her loose way out there in the barnyard, where she will grow up for a good use. Say, boy, there will come a time someday by and by. She'll be ready for frying. Dry your eyes and stop crying. Chick's too young to fry. Say, oh boy, don't you harm that bird. Don't you dare to try. Release that chicken or you'll get a licking. Chick's too young to fry. Hey, say, oh boy, you better take my word. Here's the reason why. Feed her steady till she gets ready. Chick's too young to fry. To fry. Chick, chick, chick. Too young to fry. To fry. Chick, chick, chick. Too young to fry. Chick, chicken, chick, chicken. Bubble bop bop ba da do do day. Chick, chicken. Hey, take her back into the barnyard. Then let her go, just turn her loose way out there in the barnyard. Man, let her grow up for a good use, please, boy. There will come a time someday by and by. She'll be ready for frying. Dry your eyes and stop crying. That chick's too young to fry. That chick's too young to fry. That chick's too young to fry. Man, let that chick grow up and bring her to me, boy.
April 1946 release there for the Deep River Boys. Deep River Boys on the RCA record label. Their rendition of the tune That Chick's Too Young to Fry is the name of the tune. What are they meaning in there? There's a double meaning on that, I would say. Johnny G here on a Thursday. Thank you all for being here. If you're digging on these cool 78s from the 1940s, please give me a thumbs up. I'm telling you, I really have never, it wasn't normal for Johnny G to listen to these 1940 things, but I've had a lot of the records in the collection. I started buying the 1940 stuff when Spence Wooten he was running out of 45s to give me, then he ran out of LPs to bring me, so then he started bringing me some of these 78s. A lot of them were from Lou Haggis, and he still had some group stuff left over too. Now Spence would always bring me some of those rarer ones, the later ones, like I didn't have the Kingsman on the Club 51 label. There was there were a couple other ones, but I had the Teardrops on Josie. I had a nice mint copy of that, and then I ended up getting the 45 on the cheap that plays really nice, but I probably should have kept that 78 because it was immaculate. He got me, I think, $100 for that 78. I don't know who he sold it to. He said, I'll take them back. so I didn't give him my Pelicans. I had a flexi disc on the Pelicans, but some other ones too. Greg also would bring me up. I like the teardrops on Samson, some really nice ones that he had. Some of the stuff like the Imperials, the Gaylords on Savoy. I was always buying those because they were not on a 45. But I wasn't really focusing on the 1940s. Then people were giving me their 78s, and I had them all down in the basement. Then I have to thank Jack. A lot of the records that you're hearing on the show are Jack. They belong to Jack Saperstein, and he's now listening to his 78s here being played on the program. Thank you, Jack, for that. And he's a big fan of the program. And so a lot of these that I do feature here on the program are from Jack, and I have other things that I've mixed in. So I end up doing this. I totally did it as and East End Mark in the UK was begging me to do a 78 show, and I was like, well, they're very clunky. They're called clunkers, so they're hard to manipulate and maneuver. Imagine if I had 190,000 78s. I think the house would collapse. But the 45s are a lot easier to deal with. But anyway, so there's some big 78 fans here in the YouTube chat room, so they don't want me to get rid of this program here. So we'll continue with it, and let us continue here. And we are in the year 1946 for this singer from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. In 1939, he would head to Chicago, Illinois. He joined Earl Hines' Grand Terrace Orchestra as a vocalist and a trumpeter, I think it was called. Then in 1945, I forgot to type it there. I think he would go solo recording for the Deluxe record label, or 44, I think. I'm mistyping that in there. In 1945, he would sign with Al Green's national record label, would have 22 releases. I was like, oh my God, I know I have some, but I don't think I have 22. 22 releases on the national record label. And of course, both he and the Ravens were big at the time on the national record label. This is his 8th release. This is a song he wrote together with Earl Hines. I'm talking about Billy Eckstine. Billy Eckstine on the national record label. Let's go to November of 1946. The Billy Eckstine and his orchestra. The song is called, and this one is not on 45 Whirls. I'm like, where is this? And it wasn't there. The song is called Jelly Jelly, Billy Eckstine.
Hello, baby. I had to call you on the phone. Hello, baby. I had to call you on the phone. 'Cause I feel so lonesome, and Daddy wants his baby home. It's a downright rotten, low down, dirty shame. It's a downright rotten, low down, dirty shame. The way you're treating for me, I know I'm not to blame. Jelly, 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 jelly stays on my mind. Jelly, 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 jelly stays on my mind. Jelly Roll killed my pappy. It run my mommy so dry.
Yeah, whoa, hear that rough. Listen, that's the way it goes. Recycled vinyl there on the National record label. I lost my place. That's Billy Eckstine. Billy Eckstine from November 1946, and he's got 22 releases on there. That's his 8th release. It's a song he wrote, co-wrote, a song entitled Jelly Jelly is the name of the tune. I can't say, I used to have, before I went on my diet, I used to have jelly on a bagel with cream cheese. That is a no-no. That is very high on the caloric chart. As we continue here on the All 78 show, thank you all for being here. Let's move into 1947 now with a flip side from the last 78 show. Featured the Basin Street Boys on Leon Renee's exclusive record label with a song called I'll Get Along Somehow. Now, let's give a listen to the flip side here. Now, this late 40s group was named by their lead singer after a popular Lynchburg, Virginia act fronted in the 1930s by legendary Steve Gibson. Now, the original group, the Steve Gibson group, moved out to Los Angeles in 1937, and a young student attending Belmont High School, his name was Ormond Wilson, came to know all the members, which inspired him to form a vocal group called the Dreamers. And that was in the early 1940s. By 1945, Ormond Wilson was, he was like, you know what, we're good singers, let's form a group. So what he did was he formed a new group with Gene Price, Reuben Saunders, and Arthur Rainwater, a.k.a. Artie Waters, and he named themselves after the Basin Street Boys because Steve Gibson went on with the Red Caps there. So they kind of like reuse that name, pretty much how like the Drifters would go on with different different lead singers, etc. So that's how that came about. They signed with Leon Renee's exclusive record. They first backed up a gal by the name of Judy Carroll. I don't know if I have that. I might have it in the collection. But they had 8 releases on the exclusive record label. This was their 6th. Ormond Wilson is the lead singer. Let's go to June of 1947 for the Basin Street Boys on exclusive. It's called Exactly Like You.
I know why I've waited, I know why I've been blue, prayed each night for someone exactly like you. Why should we spend money on a show or two? No one does those love scenes exactly like you. You make me feel so grand, I want to hand the world to you. You seem to understand each foolish little dream I'm dreaming, scheme I'm scheming too. I know why my mother taught me to be true. She meant me for someone exactly like you. exactly like you. Holy bebop, why should we spend money on a show or two when no one does those love scenes, baby, exactly like you? Holy bebop, you make me feel so grand. I want to hand the world to you. You seem to understand each foolish little dream I'm dreaming, scheme I'm scheming. I know why my mother taught me to be true. She meant me for someone like you.
There you go. That's the sound of the Bass and Street Boys' June 1947 release on the exclusive record label Exactly Like You is the name of the tune. Now, Tony Barcia mentions that what do you say, the Barons recorded that tune also on Decca. Yes, as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, and we are in the year 1947, and we have one more from that year. In researching this group, the late music historian and record collector Peter I think it's Grandezza, if I pronounce that correctly, researched this group, saying that the Brooks brothers were Orville Brooks, and as he put it, a bunch of Hummers, okay, bunch of Hummers. And at the time that I guess Pete talked to Orville Brooks, he could not recall the names of the rest of the group members. Now, Orville had been in the Jubilaires and then switched to the Golden Gate Quartet in the spring of 1948. Now, he would leave the Golden Gate Quartet, of course, in 54 and join Gene Mumford, who was also an ex-Golden Gate Quartet member, to record with the Larks. But let's give a listen to the Brooks Brothers here. First recording, their first of two. Well, I should say first recording for the Diamond label. They had two releases on Diamond. I think I played a version of St. Louis Blues, maybe on the first or second 78 show that I did last year on the Diamond label, but they had three on the Decca label. This is their second. It's with the Billy Kyle Quartet from November of 1947. These are the Brooks Brothers. The Brooks Brothers on the Decca label. The song is called Is It Too Late?
Is it too late for us to start anew? I'm no good without you. Is it too late? I want to know why you treat me so. My heart refused to let you go. Is it too late? I'm lonesome for you. Darling, help me please do. Tell me you still care. Last man our love affair. Being stubborn gets us nowhere. Say it's not too late. I'm lonesome, baby, lonesome for you, lonesome for you. Help me, darling, help me please do.
Tell me you still care. Last man our love affair. Being stubborn gets us nowhere. Say it's not too late. Say it's not too late.
There you go. That's the sound of the Brook Brothers there, November 1947. Boy, all these oldie 78s here. And that's on the Decca record label. That is their second of three on the Decca label, the Brooks Brothers with Is It Too Late? No, it is not too late. It's only 3:50 in the afternoon here on the East Coast on this horrible day. At least it stopped, but it's now 33, so the snow, I guess, is melting, which is a good thing. But let us continue here on the All 78 show. Again, if you need to get in touch with your disc jockey, that's me, Johnny G. You can send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. That is the contact number. Got some nice emails on the Soul Show from last night. Also some requests that come in. It's hard for me to take requests on the 78 show because a lot of the ones that have played over the last few weeks, I haven't had a chance to shuffle them in. I dare not ask my mother to help me with the 78s. First of all, I don't want her lifting the 78s as it is. It's even tough for me. But we're having a stair lift put in. The VA has offered to do that. The electrician I don't know when he's coming, but he's going to come here. But they're coming Monday to put that stair in. So at least they'll be able to come upstairs. Maybe she'll help me file my 1950s vocal group stuff. I have to tell her to be careful of the 4-figure 45s. Be careful with these. Barbara is a little bit loose with filing the 45s. I'm like, Barbara, please be careful with that one. That cost me $4,000. You can't be so rough with that 45. I don't care about the dollar records. The 78s also, I says, that's why I don't want them touching the 78s. I have to touch them. And I'm telling you, I'm so worried about picking them up. And I have to be careful because I think I'm eventually going to probably need a surgery, and I'm kind of putting that off because I have what's called an umbilical hernia. It's not that big, but it's small, but it's maybe because I lost the weight, but I don't like it, and I'm kind of worried when I lift because I have boxes way up high against the, so my 45 collection goes across the top of the seal. My father made these shelves, so I have to pull them down. So when you guys and gals request the A's, for instance, the A's are way up in the corner. I got to slide it out, and they're big boxes, like these brown boxes you might see, not even the white ones. So I have to be careful with the lifting. So I put a belt on just to be sure, but sometimes it bothers me. So I don't want to go. I don't even want to go there. So because that's going to really, I won't be able to lift anything. And that means I really won't be able to get any other requests if I have some type of that surgery, I think. But anyway, I babble on here. Let us continue here. And got one more out of the year 1947. This group from St. Louis, Missouri, featured them on the last 78 show, their fourth release on the Bluebird record label, called Comin' In on a Wing and a Prayer. Now, they would sign with Bess Berman's Apollo Records. I don't know if the husband was alive in 1947 because he would pass away and the wife would take over the operations, and she did a really good job with Apollo Records. But they would sign with the Apollo label in late 1946. They had 7 releases on the Apollo label. Let's give a listen to their fifth. It features John Jordan on lead from April 47. These are the Four Vagabonds. The Four Vagabonds on the Apollo label. It's called Oh, My Aching Heart. The Four Vagabonds.
Oh, baby, something's on my mind.
I walk along pretending that we're not apart. Nobody would know it. I know I don't show it, but oh my aching heart, doo-doo. Nightly I'm found stepping around with someone who looks very smart. They think I'm romancing when they see me dancing, but oh my aching heart, I'm the life of every party, the gayest guy in town, always handing people a laugh. But after every party, you'll find this lonesome clown kissing your photograph, the one I do in half. I never knew till I lost you. I loved you so much from the start. I keep saying over, I'm glad it's all over, but oh my aching heart, it's over, all over. I never knew till I lost you. Loved you so much from the start. I keep saying over, I'm glad it's all over, but ooh, oh my aching heart.
There you go. That's rough. Well, actually, that's a mint copy, but it's rough with that grainy vinyl there. April 1947. That's the Four Vagabonds. Four Vagabonds on the Apollo record banner there. They're they're fifth of seven for the Apollo label. Oh My Aching Heart is the name of the tune. And let's move into 1948 now with The Sound of the Ravens. They were first recorded for the Hub record label in the spring of 1946, but they would sign with Al Green's National Records in 1947. They had 21 releases on the national label through February of 1951, with really two main lead singers. I guess main lead, the bass lead of Jimmy Ricks, and also the great Maith Marshall. And they are both featured on this tune. This is their 12th release on the national record label. This one recorded September 11th of 1947. This tune written by Irving Berlin and probably recorded by many in the past, but this one released in December of 1948. These are the Ravens on the national record label with their rendition of the tune, Always.
Yes, I'll be loving you always with the love that's true, baby, always. When the things you plan need a helping hand, I will understand, yes, always. Baby, days may not be fair, always. That's when I'll be there, yes, always. Not for just an hour, baby, not for just a day, ooh. Not for just a year, but always.
my darling, always. Not for just an hour, not for just a day, not for just a year, but always.
I'll be loving you, baby, always. Do-do-do-do-do. With the love that's true, yes, always. When the things you plan need a helping hand, ooh, I will understand, yes, always, always. Days may not be fair, baby, always. That's what I'll be there. Always do 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 do.
Not for just an hour, baby, not for just a day,
Not for just an
I'll be
hour,
faithful
not
to
for
you.
just a
Do
day.
anything you ask me to.
I'll be faithful to
baby, always.
There you get a double dose there, two lead singers. That's a bass lead there with Jimmy Ricks and also the great Maith Marshall from December 1948. Those are the Ravens. The Ravens on the national record label. What did I say that was? Their 12th release on the national label. Always is the name of the tune. That was a nice vinyl, I have to say. Not all the Ravens play nice like that, unfortunately, but that one is a nice smooth one. And that sounded pretty good, I'd have to say. Johnny G here on a Thursday. This is our afternoon get together on a Thursday afternoon. It's an hour later than usual. Tried it at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it gets me a little bit better to prepare for the show as we continue here. And we are in the year 1948. Got one more out of that that year slot. This time with Steve Gibson and the Red Caps. And this is actually a song that was re-sung, a song that they did for Joe Davis, because he wrote this tune, first recorded by them on January 1944, released on the Beacon record label, which was actually a hit for the group back then, but they re-sung it for the Mercury record label. This one released in November of 1944. Let's give a listen to Steve Gibson and the Red Caps on the Mercury label with a re-sung version of I Learned a Lesson, parentheses, I'll Never Forget. Steve Gibson and the Red Caps.
I was a fool, would follow no rules, playing the game my own way. I thought romance just a song and a dance, but today I can truthfully say I learned a lesson I'll never forget. Heaven help me if I do. How well I realize I lost a prize the day I told her I was through. Yes, I'm confessing I'll live to regret that I spurn a love tried and true. I learned a lesson I'll never forget when I turned my back on you.
honey, I learned a lesson I'll never forget. Heavens help me if I do, and help the sale of this record too. I didn't realize, but I lost a precious prize the day that I told her that I was through.
I learned a lesson I'll never forget when I turn my back on you.
There you go, Steve Gibson and his Red Caps there, November 1948 release. That's a resung version of that tune. That one there originally came out, in January of 1944. Those Beacons play so badly, I have to say. And the Mercuries really play pretty nice there, especially if you have a clean copy of that. That's the resung version of I Learned a Lesson, parentheses, I'll Never Forget is the name of the tune. That one there from November 1948. Johnny G learns his lesson. I'm telling you, when you make a mistake, you're supposed to learn from them, but some people just never do, and they never fess up to their mistakes. It's an unfortunate thing. As we continue here and we move up 2 years now, let's go to 1950 with some early Joe Turner. Originally, he was from Kansas City, Missouri. By the way, he recorded for a number of different labels way before he signed with the Atlantic folks, as we are familiar with a lot of his cool rhythm and blues records on the Atlantic record label. But in 1941, he first recorded for the Decca folks, and in 1945 has some releases on the National record label, did a couple on Downbeat, and in 1948, I should say that's Downbeat in 1948, but he also had releases on MGM and the Imperial labels too. Now this one I have is on the Freedom label. This is a label out of, I thought it was California, but it's not. It's out of Houston, Texas. Had 3 releases on this Freedom label. This is his first, and it's a song he wrote, and this is like on, I guess it's like a flexi disc. I don't know. It's really light. It's not those heavy clunkers, and usually the fidelity is pretty nice, I'll say. But let's go to June of 1950 for Joe Turner and his orchestra on the Freedom record label. It's called I'm Just a Traveling Man.
I'm a traveling man, and I roam from town to town. I'm a traveling man, oh, and I roam from town to town. But the right kind of loving can make me settle down. Loving me is easy, 'cause I'm such an easy loving man. like you never been thrilled before. And love me till I scream, baby, and make me cry, cry for some more. Little girl, we'll make a real gone pair. When you wake up in the morning, you know that I've been there.
Yeah, there you go with Big Joe Turner. Big Joe Turner on the Freedom record label there from June of 1950. I'm just a traveling man, far from Ricky Nelson's traveling man. That's his first of three on the Freedom record label. Let's continue here. Johnny G's your Thursday afternoon disc jockey here. I hope those of you finding out about the program, those of you signed into YouTube, you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you are not subscribed, or I should say, if you're not signed into YouTube, you cannot comment, and not that you need to. I'm just saying it's a good thing, because the copyright police will stay away from Johnny G the more subscribers that I have. That's how it works. Although they just shut me down at the end of the show last week. I should say yesterday. And then they posted it again to piss off all the listeners. But anyway, it surely did. But let us continue here. We are in 1950, and we head out to Baltimore, Maryland for the sound of the Orioles. And this, on the last 78 show, I featured their 14th release on Jerry Blaine's Jubilee record label. The side was called We're Supposed to Be True. And I played the flip side even, I think, on the prior show called I'd Rather Have You Under the Sun. But let's give a listen to the group's 12th release on the Jubilee record label. This one never came out on a 45, at least when it was first issued. I don't know if they booted this on a 45. It's possible, because some people were doing that in the 1970s. But this is actually, the label's kind of messed up here, but the vinyl's not that bad. So that's why I'm featuring it. Features the great Sonny Till on lead. Let's go to July of 1950 for the Orioles on the Jubilee label. The song is called You've Gone, the Orioles.
You're gone, and the days seem like years, and my heart is in tears since you have gone. How long was as sweet as a song, till the music went wrong. Now I'm forlorn. I know there is magic in new romance. I know it is tragic to take that chance. I'm blue 'cause I still love but you, and I can't carry on since you are gone. I know, girl, there is magic in you. I know it's tragic to take that chance. I'm blue 'cause I still love but you, and I can't carry on
since you are gone.
There you go. That's Sonny Till and the Orioles there. I messed up on the title there. I can't even see it. The label's kind of messed up there. It's called You're, Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, You're Gone. It's the name of the tune. And that one there from July of 1950 on Jubilee Records, You're Gone. I have to change that, Charlene. I didn't forget to send you the file. I did not. So please be patient. Let us continue in 1950. And this is the flip side from the last 78 show. Featured Ella Fitzgerald. And a group backing her up on this are called Four Hits and a Miss. And this is on the Decca record label. The side I played the last time was called I Don't Want the World, parentheses, with a fence around it. So let's give a listen to, I think this is the intended A-side of the 78 here. This tune written by Curly Williams and Billy Simmons, again with the Four Hits and a Miss backing her up. And this is a spelling bee we're going to do. This is from June 1950 on the Decca label. I have a cool white promo of this. I mean, it could be a little bit cleaner, but hey, beggars cannot be choosy. Ella Fitzgerald with the Four Hits and a Miss. It's called M-I-S, and they sing it this way. M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. Mississippi is the name of the tune. Ella and the Four Hits and a Miss.
M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I.
By the M-I, crooked letter I, crooked letter I. Humpback, I, Mississippi, flowing down to New Orleans. And it flows right by my Tennessee home, where history was made by Steamboat Bill. M-E-M-P-H-I-S, Memphis is the town I mean. Way down yonder where the days are golden, there's a river that just keeps rolling. What a wonderful thrill just to be down in Memphis, Tennessee. By the M-I, crooked letter I, crooked letter I. Humpback, I, Mississippi, flowing down to New Orleans.
M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. By the M-I, double crooked letter I, crooked letter I.
Humpback, I'm a Mississippi, flowing down to New Orleans.
And it flows by my Tennessee home, where history was made by Steamboat Bill.
M-E-M-P-H-I-S, Memphis is the town I mean. Way down yonder where the days are golden, there's a river that just keeps rolling. What a wonderful thrill just to be down in Memphis, Tennessee. By the M-I, crooked letter I, crooked letter I. Humpback, I'm Mississippi, flowing down the river, flowing down the river, flowing down to New Orleans.
Here you go, Ella Fitzgerald. Been getting emails to feature more Ella Fitzgerald. I found a couple other ones in the I think I have a bunch of them in the basement. I gotta find them though. But it's Johnny G. It goes crazy searching for a lot of my collection was not. Let's put it this way. I was just buying in large quantities at the time. Lots of the dealers would call me up to sell me 45s over the phone, missing numbers, and I was buying everything. So they were offering me, and old stuff too. Joel Scherzer would call me every month, sell me about 400 or 500 records every month. He would one. I'm telling you, the one thing that messed me up with Joel. So he had a big box to sell me. Oh well, he sold me a box. They were most of them were $1, but he'd have some soul records, intermingled in between, and he had it all packed up, and he had it in his car to drive to the post office the next morning. So he packed it up, and then he called me. He said to me, Johnny, I got some bad news for you, that someone in the neighborhood, I don't know exactly where he lives in Pueblo, Colorado, and this was a while back, but they broke into the cars. They had vandals that broke into the cars. They stole the record box. So the problem was that with those 545s, when he would read them off to me, I'd have that, you see that mess here. I had like 5 3-ring binders. By Stack of Wax put them out. It was discographies of all the major labels, at least the major labels, and a lot of the smaller labels. So, ABC, Paramount, Epic, and he would have editions and all these other things. So I was getting all the volumes when they would reissue. They would put out all these updates. So when guys would sell me the records, I would mark them off in the book. And when Joel would sell me the stuff, I put an S for his last name. So I said, Joel, they stole all those records? I don't remember which ones they were. They're in the book here. And I put an S next to them. So whenever he would read another record to me that I already had marked with an S, I said, you're going to have to sell me those for $1 again, because I don't know what the price was. So sometimes he would hem and haw, and I said, well, look, I have it marked here, and he would sell it to me for $1. But that was a problem, because I'll have it marked that I own it, and I don't own it. So that's a bummer. But why would somebody steal? They stole 545s out of his trunk of his car, or wherever he had it. But that was a bummer, I will tell you. We just heard Ella Fitzgerald. I don't know what got on that tangent. June 1950, Ella Fitzgerald and 4 hits and a miss on the Decca record label, song entitled Mississippi. Got to welcome some new people into the chat. Ramon Ortiz, well, welcome to the Vinyltreasure Show. I'm glad that AI is recommending this program, I guess, to a lot of people now as the show keeps on getting bigger. So we're getting more people into the program here, which is a good thing. Can't expect everybody to listen to the entire show. It's like, although I'm getting, last night I think I had 750 or whatever listeners that came into the program yesterday, and they give me an average of the watch time, and that was, I think it was 31 minutes. And I have to say that's pretty good. When people, you're going to listening to the radio, and you press, the stations, you're only going to listen for a minute or whatever, and then you're going to move on. But that was the average, and I know Oldies and More is happy with that. So they are pretty happy with that, and I'm happy with that too. And I'm happy to have you guys and gals in the chat room. So again, hopefully you will subscribe to my YouTube page and tell your friends about this program. This is our second show of the week. I'll be back on Saturday night. Got some great requests that came into the program for this coming Saturday. So I'll see many of you at 9 p.m. on Saturday, 9 to midnight, with a little bit of overtime. But let us continue here. And we are in the year 1951 now. And on the last show, I featured Al Russell and the Do Re Mi Trio, played their first of 3 on the OK record label. Now, nobody commented. Usually lots of people are quick to correct me in the chat room, but nobody mentioned that I played the wrong side. What I said was not the record I played. Sometimes people do say that, and I wish they would, but on the last 78 show, I messed up the title, and nobody mentioned it. I played the side called May That Day Never Come. That was what I played, but that was not what I said. What I said incorrectly was that I played the flip side of this called How Can You Say You Love Me? I did not play that, but I am going to play that now. It's actually a great two-sided 78, I have to say. The actual title of this is How Can You Say You Love Me, parentheses, and Hurt Me the Way You Do. That's a pretty long title. But it features Al Russell on lead. This is with the Do-Re-Mi Trio. This is on the OK record label, their first of three from July 51. This is Al Russell and the Do-Re-Mi Trio.
You love me and hurt me the way you do. How can you face me and pretend you care? Why don't you replace me? It's easier to bear. I know you don't mean your kisses. You can't fool a heart that's true. How can you say that you love me and hurt me the way you do? How can you say that you love me and hurt me the way you do?
There you go. That one there is Al Russell and the Do-Re-Mi Trio from July 51. On the OK record label, their first of three, How Can You Say You Love Me, parentheses, and Hurt Me the Way You Do. There you go, Al Russell on lead. Let's stay in 1951 here, and I featured this gal from Portsmouth, Virginia on the last 78 show, Ruth Alston Weston, a.k.a. Ruth Brown, featured her 9th release for the Atlantic record label. The song was called I Know. I think I also played the flip side as requested by Tony Barcia, I Don't Want Anybody, parentheses, If I Can't Have You, an excellent ballad that she does. But here is her 8th release just prior to that release from last week. This tune written by Rudy Toombs. It's with Buddy Johnson and his orchestra, and this was a big R&B hit for her. This was number 3 on the Billboard R&B chart. Let's go to February 1951 for Ruth Brown. Ruth Brown on the Atlantic record label. It's called I'll Wait for You.
Along about the evening, I feel so blue, and though my heart is grieving, I'll wait for you. I'm writing you a letter sign love so true. Although I'm sad and lonely, I'll wait for you. When the moon was high and the lights were low, that's the time when you and I said our love would grow. If you ever get the notion you miss me too, make it in a hurry, I'll wait for you. Down about the midnight, I miss you so. So baby, won't you do right? I'll wait for you. You need my arms around you to hold you tight. I'll give you all my loving, both day and night. When the moon is high and the lights are low, that's the time when you and I know our love will grow. If you ever get the notion you miss me too, just make it in a hurry, I'll wait for you.
There you go, the great Ruth Brown there. Ruth Brown from February 1951. That's her 8th release on the Atlantic record label, I'll Wait for You. That's with Buddy Johnson and his orchestra. A big R&B hit for Ruth Brown. How about we do a twin spin on the Atlantic record label, and it's a flip side from the last 78 show, as I featured the Delta Rhythm Boys on the last show. I featured their second release on the Atlantic record label, a song called Nobody Knows. Let's give a listen to the flip side before it goes back down. In the No Humidity Basement from March of 1950, kind of little bit out of sequence here. The Delta Rhythm Boys on Atlantic. It's called If You See Tears in My Eyes. The Delta Rhythm Boys.
If you see tears in my eyes, don't wipe them away. They're souvenirs in disguise of a love gone astray. Remember I cried the first time we kissed, but they were tears of happiness. When your love grew cold, I tried to be bold, but my heart just had to confess. If you see tears in my eyes, don't think that I'm blue. Those souvenirs in disguise bring back memories of you. And so I'll cry as I hope and pray that you'll come back to love me someday. And if you see tears in my eyes, oh, don't wipe them away. So I'll cry as I hope and pray that you'll come back to love me someday. And if you see tears in my eyes, don't wipe them away. Don't wipe them away.
There you go. Nice tune there by the Delta Rhythm Boys. That one there from March of 1950 on the Atlantic record label. If You See Tears in My Eyes is the name of the tune. That was a little rough there on the vinyl. Not so much on the condition. Some of the vinyls, like I had some of the King 78s. And they look like foggy for some reason. Some of them, I have a Federal coming up later on in the program, but we'll see here. As we are in the year 1951, and the lead singer of this group, he was from Waco, Texas, in the 1930s and 40s. We heard from him earlier. He was a member, actually the lead singer of the Charioteers, but in 1951 he formed his own group and signed with the MGM record label. They had 11 releases on the MGM record label. This is his 5th release. This tune first done by the Four Aces. The Four Aces did this first on the Victoria record label. Now, this charted number 28 on Billboard. This was a number 1 record on WLIB out of New York City. Let's go to September of 1951 for the Billy Williams Quartet. The Billy Williams Quartet on the MGM record label, and their rendition of the tune, It's No, that's in parentheses, It's No Sin.
Take away the breath of flowers, and it would surely be a sin. Take the rain from April showers, and it's a sin. Take away the violins, dear, from a lovely symphony, and then the music deep within would cease to be. Oh, is it a sin? Love you so, to hold you close and know you are near. Though you take away my heart, dear, still that beating there within, I'll keep loving you forever, 'cause it's no sin.
Is it a sin to love you so, to hold you close and know you are leaving?
Though you take away my heart, dear, still the beating there within, I'll keep loving you forever, 'cause it's
Cover tunes here on the Vinyltreasure Show. There you go. That's the sound of the Billy Williams Quartet from September 1951. That is their 5th of 11 for the MGM record label, doing the cover of the Four Aces tune, It's No Sin. Savannah Churchill also does a nice rendition of that tune. And, of course, they have other releases on the Mercury and Coral record label. Now, you know, when Dick Clark took American Bandstand national, the first act to lip sync on the show was the Billy Williams Quartet, and they had a big hit in 1957 on the Coral label with "I'm Gonna Sit Right Down and Write Myself a Letter." That was the first group to appear nationally on American Bandstand. Johnny G here on a Thursday afternoon here. Thank you all for being here. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click that thumbs up if you dig what Johnny G is doing. This is our second show of this week. I'll be back on Saturday night beginning at 9 p.m., 9 to midnight for your 1950s and early 60s requests. So you can email me. It doesn't have to be a request. I get some really nice emails from a lot of the people that are discovering this show and learning about the music here, as this is also an educational show, and I have educated listeners in the YouTube chat room there that have a lot of knowledge about this music, even more so than I do. So it's always great to chime in if you do know something about one of the songs that I'm playing. So that's always a good thing. We all like to learn here and enjoy. It's mainly entertainment, but really a learning experience for a lot. I should do a course. Should I do a course? I don't know. But let us continue here. We move into 1952 now, and for this pianist, singer, and songwriter, originally from Marshall, Texas, but he relocated out to the West Coast, first recording for the Bahari Brothers Modern record label. That was in 1949. But then he moved over to Eddie and Leo Mesner's Aladdin Records in the fall of 1950. This is his 10th release on the Aladdin record label. Now, how many, I don't want to say alcoholics, how many wine drinkers do we have out in the audience? I like to have wine from time to time, not a lot, but I do kind of not. It kind of interferes with my blood pressure medication, so I kind of stay away from the wines a little bit. But I used to be a wine drinker. You know, there's a song called "I'm a Wine Drinker" by the Bards that I should open up the show with one day. But anyway, this is Floyd Dixon, and it mentions on the label here all the band members. Eddie Williams, he's on the bass. Roy Haynes is on guitar, Maxwell Davis on tenor sax, and Monk McFadden, he's on the drums. That's an all-star lineup there. Let's give a listen from June 52, Floyd Dixon on the Aladdin record label. The song is called Wine, Wine, Wine. Floyd Dixon.
Just a wine, oh, love my wine. Make it matter, chef, as every doggone time. Give me wine, wine, wine. All the time, time, time. Cause when I drink it, I feel so doggone fine. Give me wine, wine, wine. All the time, time, time. Give me wine, wine, wine. All the time, time, time. Cause when I get it, I feel so doggone fine. Well, a little bit of wine is never bad. People drink wine to keep them feeling sad. Give me wine, wine, wine. All the time, time, time. Cause when I get it, I feel so doggone fine. never took her off her crutch. Give me wine, 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 all the time, time, time. 'Cause when I get it, it feels so doggone fine. Give me wine, 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 all the time, time, time. Give me wine, 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 all the time, time, time. Well, when I get it, I feel so doggone fine. Well, give me wine, 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 all the time, time, time. Give me wine, 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 all the time, time, time. Well, when I get it, I feel so doggone fine.
Yeah, drinking songs here on a Thursday afternoon. Listen, Busta Bass was having some cognac earlier on the program here. I can go for some cognac as Johnny G here on a Thursday. Floyd Dixon there from June 1952 on Eddie and Lil Mesner's Aladdin record label. Wine, Wine, Wine is the name of the tune. I think that's a pretty cool up-tempo. Wouldn't you say that as we continue here? And we are in the year 1952. This quartet first recording back in 1948 as the King Odom Quartet for Music Craft Records, and in 1950 with a release on the Derby record label. This is the group's very last single. Came out on the Abbey label, Abbey. It features David King Odom on lead. This is with the Dick Jacobs Orchestra from March 52, the King Odom 4. King Odom 4 on the Abbey record label. The song is called Lucky.
Everybody calls me lucky. I wonder why. People point and say, there goes a lucky guy, but they don't know how much a lucky guy can cry. When she loved me, I was lucky. Then she said we'll have to part. So if you look into the eye of this lucky guy, you'll find a I was lucky. Then she said we'll have to part. So if you look into the eye of this lucky guy, find a broken heart.
There you go, that one there. From March of 1952, that's the King Odom 4. King Odom 4 on the Abbey record label. Song entitled Lucky, featuring David King Odom on lead. And my grandmother would tell me, you're either lucky in cards or lucky in love? Maybe not lucky in either, or lucky in both. Johnny G is lucky to have you as a listener, so thank you all for being here. If you need to get in touch with me, you can send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. That is the request line. And some people send me instant messages on Facebook. You can check me out, John Galindo on Facebook. I post scans of the records. Not everything, but I think I posted a lot. I posted it late last night, lots of the 78s that I am featuring here on the program today. So you can check me out on Facebook there. Some people have a direct line to Johnny G, but they have the bat phone number, but not everybody can have that. But anyway, it is great. It's great to be here. Glad to see you all tuned into the program. As we continue here, we are in the year 1952. Got some blues now on the Vinyl Treasure Show, this all 78 edition. The singer born November 30th, 1915 in Knoxville, Tennessee, best known with his collaborations with harmonica player Sonny Terry. And of course, he was the brother of Stick McGee, first recording for OK Records back in 1940, but he has lots of releases. I think on a label I saw, Albert Records. I don't even think I have any, but he had a lot of releases on the Albert record label, but other labels too. This is one on Bob and Morty Shadd's Jax Records, Jax Records, out of New York City. And it's Brownie McGee and the Blockbusters, and it features Sonny Terry on harmonica, we mentioned that, Bob Gaddy on piano, and Bob Harris on the stand-up bass, and George Wood on drums, and Brownie McGee, he is on guitar, and he's also on vocal. This is from 1952, Brownie McGee and his Blockbusters. It's called A Letter to Lightning Hopkins, Brownie McGee.
Texas, Lightning Hopkins is the man I want to see. Whoa, Houston, Texas, Lightning Hopkins is the man I want to see. Well, if you can't stand my jiving, Sam, I'm gonna give you the third degree. Business, but I've got some news for you. I'm the captain of the ship, you just a member of the crew. I'll be in Texas in the morning. You'd better buy you a lock and key. You'll be looking for your woman, Sam. Yes, and she will be with me. Well, I'm gonna tell you my name. It's written in the bosom of my shirt. I'm a woman's lover, and I sure don't have to work. Whoa, Texas, you better buy you a lock and key. Sam, you'll be looking for your woman. Yes, and she will be with me. Tell her what I said, Sonny boy. No answer when you called Central 209 because the line was busy. She was calling me Sam all the time. When I get in Houston, Texas, for I know you will never rest.
Every woman that you meet will tell you Brownie McGee is the best. Oh, Mr. Hopkins, you'd better be on your P's and Q's. Best wishes and yours truly, Jive and Mr. Hopkins Blue.
Yeah, we got some blues here on the All 78 edition. That's Brownie McGee and the Blockbusters, 1952 release on the Jack's record label. That is, what I say, that's Morty Shadd and Bob Shadd's Jack's Records. A letter to Lightning Hopkins there. It was probably little rivalries there between those two blues artists. You got a lot of records. Lightning Hopkins, another great blues artist. Let us continue here as we move into 1953. You all know this gal, born August 29th of 1924. Again, I messed up there typing so fast. She's born in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Her real name, Ruth Lee Jones, but of course she recorded as Dinah Washington. Do you know that she was married 8 times? I wonder why that happens. How can somebody get married 8 times? I don't know, but they can. Some people can't get married once, let alone. But she started recording back in 1944. She signed with Mercury, though, in 1946. And when did TVs come into play? I know that my grandfather, my mother and the family there, my grandfather bought a 1954 RCA. It was a TV console. So they had the television on one side, and on the other side was the Victrola. And I remember because I was a kid, and you can pull the Victrola out like it was like you could press it in, and then you would pull it out, and it had this nice, cool, almost like a velvet type padding. But my aunt didn't have any adapters, so she would be using those metal inserts. They're disastrous. So you collectors out there, when you see light center damage, that's from those metal inserts. They didn't have the plastics back then. They used those. They were made up for a company up in Chicago. They're probably collector's items. What can you use them for? I don't know. But other people on some of their record players or Victrolas, they had an adapter. Like it looked like a cylinder, I guess. But she used to have, I think she had 5 or 6 of them. I think they might have come with the set. But you'd have to pop it out. And I remember she used to smoke. So she would hold the cigarette in her mouth, and she would try to pop it out as the ashes would be falling down on the records. I don't know. I think she told me one time she wasn't supposed to smoke in the house. But she came home from school, and she used to smoke Cools. So when her father would come home, he worked as a foreman down in General Motors, actually an inspector, I think. So he would be coming up the stairs, and she would hear him. So I don't know how you think he's not going to smell the cigarette. She put it one time between 2 45s, and she burnt. One of them was Little Joe and the Thrillers, Peanuts, but she ruined the flip side, which was called Lily Lou, and I forget what the other one was, but this record wouldn't play. I said, Mary, we can't play this record. What's this cigarette burn? She says, oh, that was from when I had to hide a cigarette when my father, when Grandpa was coming up the stairs. But anyway, how'd we get off on this tangent? We're talking about the TV. So I would think about 1953 or 1954 was when lots of families were buying their television sets. Well, this song relates to that Dinah Washington did, and there's a vocal group backing her up. This is from September of 1953. Dinah Washington and a vocal group on the Mercury record label. It's called, and interesting lyrics too, so listen closely. TV is the thing, parentheses, this year. Dinah Washington.
If you want to have fun, come home with me. You can stay all night and play with my TV. TV is the thing this year, this year. TV is the thing this year. Oh yes, radio was great, but now it's out of date. TV is the thing this year. Last night I was watching Old Time Mix. My TV broke, boy, I was in a fix. I got on the phone, called my man, said, get here, Daddy, as fast as you can.
TV is the thing this year.
Oh yes, TV is the thing this year. Radio was great, but now it's out of date. TV is the thing this year. He turned my dial to channel 1. I knew that this was gonna be fun. He turned my dial to channel 2. That station thrilled me through and through. He moved one notch to channel 3. I said, I love what you're doing to me. He said, wait a minute, try channel 4. Just about the time someone knocked on the door.
TV is the thing this year.
Oh yes,
TV is the thing.
Trying to tell you, radio was great, but now it's out of date. TV is the thing this year. The way he eased into channel 5, I swore my man had fluid drive. We moved once more to channel 6. Then he opened up his bags of tricks. On channel 7, the show was late. We got our kicks on channel 8. He turned my dial to channel 9 and said, baby, your set is working fine. He moved a little to channel 10. Then we started all over again. When he finally hit my channel 11, I cried, Mama, he treats your daughter good. Yes, it is.
TV is the thing this year.
Radio was great, but now it's out of date. TV is the thing this year. Baby, my TV set will need fixing just about this time every night.
There you go. That's Dinah Washington there. Dinah Washington on the Mercury record label. September 1953 release. TV is the thing, parentheses, this year. I don't know. What would they be now? Well, it's definitely iPhones. I don't even think iPhones are the thing this year. I don't know. AI is the thing this year as the copyright police. Well, they're not out yet. Let us continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show with a flip side from the last 78 shows. We head to Chicago. Featured George Green, George Stardust Green on the Chance record label. Now, he was a drum player, played in a number of combos, and this was on Art Sheraton's Chance record label. The song was called Brand New Rockin' Chair. But let's give a listen to the flip side here before it goes back down in the no humidity basement. George Green along with Jimmy Binkley and his jazz quintet. It's on the Chance record label. The tune is called Finance Man.
Heard a man on the radio just the other day. He said if I was working and getting steady pay, I could buy me a Cadillac, pay a little down. If I don't keep up those payments, that finance man comes around. Then I'm gonna say, how much do it cost me this time, Daddy? Take my clothes, take my bread, my TV set, and Hollywood bed, but don't take back my fishtail Cadillac. No money down, 2 years to pay, buy it on time or on layaway, easy terms or the meter plan. Keep up those payments or they'll send the finance man. Then you're gonna say, how much do it cost me this time, Daddy? Take my clothes, take my bread, my TV set, and Hollywood bed, but don't take back my fishtail Cadillac. what you want and take it away. Everything is cool on the budget plan till the payments come due, and then you'll see that man. Then you're gonna say, how much do it cost me this time? Daddy, take my clothes, take my bread, my TV set, and Hollywood bed, but don't take back my fishtail Cadillac.
Yeah, fishtail Cadillacs, they are long gone, unfortunately. There you go. That's the sound of George Green. George Green from May 1953. It's on the Chance record label. Finance Man is the name of the tune. We're getting April 15th. Deadline for filing your taxes is so we got to be cognizant of that. Johnny G here in a little bit of overtime here. I can do that. I can do whatever I want on a Thursday afternoon. But let's continue. Let's move into 1954 now. This gal born Fannie Tuell in Essex County, New Jersey. She was caught singing at the Royal Peacock Club in Atlanta by R&B singer Ruth Brown, and she was able to. Ruth Brown was able to get her an audition with Herb Abramson of Atlantic Records, and she would join Joe Morris's Cavalcade under her married name of Faye Shrugs. And she had her debut single in January of 1953, a song called I'm Gonna Leave You. Then Joe Morris would switch to Al Silver's Herald record label, and she followed him over to Herald. And she would record as Faye Adams. And I guess the label decided to change her name to Faye Adams. And, of course, her first release was a big hit. I think I featured it here, or at least not too long ago, maybe on the Saturday Night Show with Shake a Hand. But this was her 5th of 14 on the Herald record label. And I think it was Bill Obe that might have requested this not too long ago on the Saturday Night Show. He mentioned to me that the Five Willows were backing her up on this. I think Alan Freed would call her the little gal with the big voice. Let's go to August of 1954. Give a listen to Faye Adams. Faye Adams on the Herald label. It's called Ain't Gonna Tell.
Who you gonna marry? Tell us who is he?
Ain't gonna tell he marries me.
Hope he makes you happy, happy as can be. But if it's who we think it is, you have our sympathy.
Ain't gonna tell who it is. Ain't gonna tell who it is. Ain't gonna tell, ain't gonna tell, ain't gonna tell him here.
All you did was show us your engagement ring.
Ain't gonna tell, ain't gonna tell, ain't gonna tell you a thing. Ain't no use of guessing. You heard what I said. Ain't gonna tell, ain't gonna tell, ain't gonna tell till we wed. Ain't gonna tell who it is. Ain't gonna tell who it is. Ain't gonna tell, ain't gonna tell, ain't gonna tell till I'm his.
We can keep a secret. Who is marrying you?
Ain't gonna tell, ain't gonna tell, ain't gonna tell till we do.
Is it Slim?
Want no part of him.
Is it Joe?
We broke up long ago.
Is it Freddie?
Freddie, he's married already.
Well, that's about all of your old flame.
Now come on and tell us what's his name.
Ain't gonna tell who it is. Ain't
you go. That's the sound of Faye Adams here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We'll send that one out to listener Bill Olben, New Jersey. That's the Five Willows backing her up from August 1954 on the Herald record banner. Ain't Gonna Tell is the name of the tune. Well, Johnny G wants you to tell all your friends about the Vinyl Treasure Show, as this is a unique way to listen and enjoy music, I have to say. It is entertainment, although I told YouTube that this is an educational show, and we get a lot of fun. Imagine if learning was a lot of fun. That would be great as we continue here. And this next vocal group, they were really a family of brothers from Mobile, Alabama, and the heart of the group were twins Claude and Clifford Trenier. And they started recording back in 1944, recording on many different labels, London, OK, Brunswick, Vic, Dot, Epic, and others. Now, this is one on the OK record label. Now, the interesting thing about this song is that it's not normally their style. They're usually like those, I don't know how you call it, like, they're all dancing and slapping and jumping and all these up-tempo things, but this is a different sound for this group, the Treniers. It's from June 54 on the OK record label. The song is called Come On, Let's Face It, the Treniers.
Come on, let's face it. We know we're through. Come on, let's face it. What else can we do? Come on, let's face it. We've had our day. Come on, let's face it. For our love's gone astray. We've had some gay times, but they didn't last. And now our gay times are the things of the past. Come on, let's face it. And don't feel blue. Come on, let's face it. For we know we're through. Let's face it. What else can we do?
That is definitely not a sound associated with that group. That's why I thought it was so unusual. Actually, a pretty cool record there. June 1954 release there for the Treniers. The Treniers on the OK record label. Come on, let's face it now. Johnny G is enjoying the show, can't you tell, as we continue here. And we are in 1954. Let's go to New Orleans, Louisiana now for this group, discovered by band leader and A&R man for Imperial Records, Dave Bartholomew. They would have 6 releases on the Imperial record label beginning in August of 1954. This is their 5th release. This tune co-written by the lead singer of the group. His name is Joe Gaines. And this is from August of 1954. Let's give a listen to The Hawks. The Hawks on the Imperial record label. It's called Nobody But You, The Hawks.
I wanna wanna be loved, I wanna be kissed, I wanna be thrilled by someone I never could resist, baby, my sophisticated baby. I wanna be loved, I wanna be kissed, I wanna be loved by nobody but you. You're also divine, your lips taste like wine. Nobody could take your place because I'm yours and you're mine, baby, my sophisticated baby. I wanna be loved, I wanna be kissed, I wanna be loved by nobody but you. Turn your lights down low and come real close to me. Ooh-wee. Baby, don't stop loving me. I'll always be true to no one but you. There's nothing in this world I wouldn't do for you, baby, my sophisticated baby. Ooh, baby, I wanna be loved, I wanna be kissed, I wanna be loved by nobody but you.
Yeah, this sounds good on a Flexi 78 there, and this is a stock copy too. The Hawks there from August 1954, Joe Gaines and the Hawks on the Imperial record label. What did I say that was? Their fifth release, fifth of six on Imperial, Nobody But You. And they would also back up a gal by the name of Joan Scott on Imperial. I have that on a 45. I have this on a 45 too, by the way. And also they recorded as Dave Collins and the Scrubs. I think they were the Scrubs that backed up Dave Collins, I should say. Anyway, let us continue here. We are in the year 1954. Let's play a flip side from the last 78 show. I featured Barbara Gale. Barbara Gale, her first of two on the Lloyd's record label. Now, she was backed up by the Larks, and the second Larks group, the group which included Orville Brooks, David Bowers, Isaiah Bing, and am I missing someone else? But anyway, they were on the Lloyd's record label. That was Bess Berman's Lloyd's. It's a division of Apollo Records. The Larks had 4 releases on the label. Now I should take it back. They had 2 releases backing up Barbara Gale, and featured the first last week. It was called Who Walks In When I Walk Out. But let's give a listen to the flip side. It sounds good because it's on a Flexi promo, which is cool. This is June 54, Barbara Gale and the Larks on the Lloyd's label. It's called When You're Near.
When you're near, I can hear music playing. All the world is filled with song. When you're near, my poor heart keeps on saying
is a cool record there, especially with the tempo changes there, which I think was pretty cool. Go from Dancin' the Waltz to Dancin' the Lindy there from June 1954. Barbara Gale and the Larks there on the Lloyd's record label. When You're Near is the name of the tune. We continue here in 1954, and this group, originally out of Detroit, Michigan, probably, well, we got to say best known for this record, which kicked off a whole slew of Annie records, and this song started it all from February 1954. Now, this originally came out as the Royals, but then with the Five Royales joining the King record label, they decided to switch their name. They said, you're too close to the Five Royales. You can't do that. We're going to change your name to the Midnighters. So there are actually three different presses of this. I think first as the Royals, then the way I have it on this 78, I think it's the Midnighters, formerly the Royals, and then all together just as the Midnighters. But anyway, either way you cut it, this on Sid Nathan's Federal record label from February 1954. And was this written by him? Yes, it was written by the lead singer. His name Henry Ballard, a.k.a. Hank Ballard on lead, as these are the Midnighters. The Midnighters on the Federal record label. It's called Work With Me, Annie.
Work with me, Annie. Work with me, Annie. Ooh-wee. Work with me, Annie. Work with me, Annie. Work with me, Annie. Let's get it while the getting is good. So good, so good, so good, so good. Annie, please don't cheat. Give me all my meat. Ooh-wee. So good to me. Work with me, Annie. Let's get it while the getting is good. So good, so good, so good, so good. Ooh, ooh, ooh-wee. Annie, how you thrill me, make my head go round and round, and all my love come down. Work with me, Annie. Work with me, Annie. Don't be ashamed. Work with me, Annie. Call my name. Work with me, Annie. Work with me, Annie. Let's get it while the getting is good. So good, so good, so good, so good. Oh, this kissing, girl, I've been missing. A hugging and a teasing, no, no teasing. Work with me, Annie. Let's get it while the getting is good. So good, so good, so good, so good.
I guess we'll say classics here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That one there, though, on the 78. And, sometimes the 78s are different than the 45s, you have to say. I could be just the sound because the 78s just have more full fidelity and sound so much better. Those are the Midnighters. I was going to say the Royals. February 1954 released the Midnighters. Hank Ballard on lead on the Federal record label Work With Me, Annie. And it spawned all those Annie series songs, Annie's Aunt Fanny, Sexy Ways, and others. Johnny G here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime, I guess we'll call it here, as we are in the year 1954, and let's go back. Let's go to New Orleans, Louisiana, back to New Orleans. This is one of the most successful vocal groups to come out of New Orleans. They had 16 releases on Lou Chudd's Imperial record label. Now, this is their first, I think this is the B-side, though, and this is the B-side. It features Chuck Carbo on lead from January 1954. Let's give a listen to the Spiders. And this is not a flexi. This is actually a hard shellac 78. The Spiders on Imperial. It's called You're the One. The Spiders.
You're the one. You're the only one I'll ever love. You're the only one I'm thinking of. I want you, I need you, so baby, love me too. Come to me. Come into my empty arms, I pray. Give me loving every night and day, and hold me and thrill me and fill me with your love. Got the blues with the feeling, about to drive me mad. Well, I'm rocking and reeling. Well, because, baby, you know I feel so sad. Well, all of me, everything I own, I'll gladly give. Take my heart so that I'll want to live, to hold you and thrill you and fill you with my love. So baby, pretty baby, love me too.
There you go, Sound of the Spiders. A very successful group for Imperial Records, I have to say. And two brothers led that group. There was Hayward Chuck Carbo, who did lead on this tune, and the other one, Leonard Chick Carbo. Of course, they would both go on to solo careers, but that is, I think, the B-side to their debut single from January 54, The Spiders on Imperial with You're the One. Let us continue now, and let's go to this group. They would have one of the, I guess, two songs, well, maybe three songs. Would you say the three songs to define the rhythm and blues vocal group would be Earth Angel by the Penguins, G by the Crows, and a song by this group called Shaboom, talking about the chords. I guess it would be them, but their debut single on the Atlantic subsidiary Cat Records was called Shaboom. Of course, it was, I guess we'll call that one of the three major songs to bring white audiences into the R&B field, I guess. But this was their very last single on the Cat record label. Now, they were forced to change their name from the Chords to the Chord Cats, and then they had one more change. I guess because of the success of Shaboom, they called themselves the Shabooms on their last release, and this one came out in April of 1954. It features Carl Feaster on lead. This was their last single on the Cat record label. It's called Pretty Wild. The Shabooms, a.k.a. the Chords.
Pretty wild young girl.
She's pretty wild young girl. She's pretty wild young girl. She's my little twist and twirl. She's a pretty wild young girl. She's mighty fine, too divine. She's mighty fine, just my kind. I intend to make her mine. Ooh, she's mighty fine. Now I heard all about the way she breaks young boys' hearts, but I won't end up like the rest, 'cause I'm gonna play it smart. She's pretty wild young girl. She's pretty wild young girl. She's my little twist and twirl. She's a pretty wild young girl. Pretty wild.
Young boys all da 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 da. But I will end up like the rest, 'cause I'm gonna play it smart.
Well, she's pretty wild young girl. She's pretty wild young girl. She's my little twist and twirl. She's a pretty wild young girl. Pretty wild young girl. She's pretty wild young girl. She's my little twist and twirl. A pretty wild young girl.
Yeah, sounds from 1954 here on the Vinyltreasure Show. They're called the Shabooms, a.k.a. the Chord Cats, a.k.a. the Chords. That's Carl Feaster on lead. That's their last release on the Cat record label from April 54. Pretty Wild is the name of the tune. That is a pretty wild sound, I should say, as we continue here. We got one, 1955 now, and this singer, he's from Atlanta, Georgia. He would later be known as King of the Stroll, and we know that Lenny G likes to do the stroll when he listens to lots of these tunes that Johnny G features. But early in his career, he recorded for the Atlantic record label, and not only, but he also wait a minute here. He won a talent contest, and he was spotted by Atlanta disc jockey Zenis Sears, who would become his manager and got him a contract with the Columbia subsidiary OK Records. Now, he would have 18 releases on the OK record label through 1956, and that was before Atlantic, but I'm featuring him on on OK. This was his 14th, and this is a tune that he wrote, and it features a vocal group. They're called the Sandmen. I really do like this record a lot, from May of 1955. This is Chuck Willis and the Sandmen on the OK record label. The song is called I Can Tell.
I can tell. By the way you look at me, I can tell.
I can tell.
It's not like it used to be. I can tell. You don't love me no more. I can tell.
I can tell.
By the smile on your face, I can tell.
I can tell.
By the change in your way, I can tell. You don't love me no more. Go ahead and tell me, baby, I won't be surprised, 'cause I should be made to suffer. Can't you see the tears in my eyes? I can tell.
I can tell.
By the way you call my name, I can tell.
I can tell.
Your kisses are not the same, baby, I can tell. You don't love me no more. I can tell.
I can tell.
By the way you call my name, I can tell.
I can tell.
'Cause your kisses are not the same, I can tell. You don't love me no more.
I can tell.
I think that's a great tune there for Chuck Willis and the Sandmen, May 1955 on the OK record label. What did I say? That's 14th release on the OK label. I Can Tell is the name of the tune. We are in the year 1955. Now, these gals, they were a trio of nurses. They were from Bellevue Hospital in New York City. They were discovered by Mickey Guitar Baker, who was working at the time for Eddie Heller's Rainbow record label. Of course, Mickey and Sylvia with releases on the Rainbow record label, and he was instrumental with getting them signed to the Rainbow record label. They were called the Bonnie Sisters, and they're doing a cover. This song was first done by Fred Paris and the Scarlets in 1954 maybe, and these gals covered the tune. This did chart. This was their first of three on the Rainbow record label, number 18 on the Billboard chart from December 55. The Bonnie Sisters on Rainbow, and their rendition of the tune, Cry Baby.
Do what? 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 Shooby dooby wah, do wop, be wobby wobby, shooby dooby wah, do wop, be wobby wobby, shooby dooby wah, do wop, be wobby wobby.
Cry baby,
Cry baby, cry baby, shooby
my baby, oh, be such a cry baby, oh, be such a cry baby, crying all the time.
Cry baby, cry baby, shooby
My baby, oh, be such a cry baby, oh, be such a cry baby, crying all the time,
all the time. When the raindrops start to fall, tears fall from my eyes, then my heart starts to call. Don't you realize, I realize
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. The Bonnie Sisters there from December 1955 on Eddie Heller's Rainbow Records doing the Scarlets tune. Cry Baby is the name of the tune. We are in the year 1955. We go out to the West Coast now to Jake Porter's Combo record label. This is the debut single for this group called the Native Boys, and I think this record got airplay here on the East Coast. Maybe Alan Freed played this record. It features Fred Romaine on lead from November 1955. These are the Native Boys. The Native Boys on the Combo label. The song is called Strange Love.
Something about you that really thrilled me. Thrilled me is the way that you walk by the school and the way that you talk. Well, it's something I can't explain. My love come down like falling rain. You, baby, you thrill me so I'll never let you go. All through my life I have looked for a girl like you. Now that I found you, I never feel blue. I don't know, but I've been told a lovely guy will never go cold. Lord, as long as we may live, our love never give. I don't know, but I've been told a lovely guy will never go cold. Lord, as long as we may live, our love. Cold. But as long as we may live, our love will never give. Our love will never give.
That's the debut single for the Native Boys. The Native Boys on November 1955 release on Jake Porter's Combo Records out of Hollywood, California. Strange Love is the name of the tune. That record I told you about that trade with the Beatles LP, the Beatles versus the Four Seasons. I got like 578s. Well, I traded 3 Beatle albums and got these cool 78s, all store stock. As we continue here, a few more records to go before we sign off here. Motion picture music from the last 78 show. This group featured in Alan Freed's movie Rock, Rock, Rock. They sang or lip-synced both sides of this single. Last week we heard the side called Over and Over Again by the Moonglows, and the flip side, I think I like this side better. At least my Aunt Mary liked this side better. Features Bobby Lester on lead from November 1956. These are the Moonglows on the Chess record label with their tune called I Knew from the Start.
I knew from the start that you were the only girl for me, and I knew from the start that ours was a love that was just meant to be, and I knew from the start you were the one for me.
that Cupid had flown and had loosened his dart, and I knew at a glance that you are the one for me. I've waited, it seems like forever, for true love to come my way. I'm so glad that I was so confirmed to know that I'd meet you someday. I knew from the start that you were an angel and you were divine, and I knew from the start, from here to eternity, you would be mine, and I knew from the start, you were the one for me.
That's November 1956 release there for the Moonglows. I like that record a lot. Bobby Lester and the Moonglows from the motion picture Rock, Rock, Rock. I knew from the start, that one there on Leonard Chess's Chess record label. 3 more 78s to go before we sign off here on the Vinyltreasure Show. This one here released in December of 1957. This artist, a blues harmonica player from Gadsden, Alabama, first started recording as Boogie McCain back in 1954 for the Trumpet record label. He would then sign with Ernie Young's Excello record label, where he developed his amplified harmonica style. And I think he would record into the 1960s, I think. But this is one of his releases on the Excello record label, Ernie Young's Excello Records. From December 57, let's give a listen to Jerry McCain. Jerry McCain on Excello Records. It's called The Jig's Up. Jerry McCain.
You say you went downtown, but I know you didn't go. I saw you when you met your man next door. You said your mother was sick and you was waiting on a call. But when that telephone ring, you went out, had yourself a ball. But now the jig's up, baby. Yes, the jig's up, baby. I done got a hip to your jive, and I don't wanna hear no more of your lie. Well, I gave you some money to pay the bills. I said be sure to pay them, baby. You said you know I will. But you bought a lot of liquor that evening about 3 and said, come on everybody, cause the drink's on me. But the jig's up, baby. Yes, the jig's up, baby. I done got a hip to your jive, and I don't wanna hear no more of your lies. The jig's up, baby. I'm hip to your mess. And the things you used to do, you can't do them no more. I came home from work, you had nothing to say. I found a cigar in my ashtray. Well, it ain't no joke because I don't smoke. I found a hat and a coat I knew wasn't mine. I ain't gonna ask you nothing cause you're gonna start lying. But the jig's up, baby. Yes, the jig's up now. I done got hip to your jive, and I don't wanna hear no more of your lies. Well, the jig's up, baby, and I want you to know. Pack your little rags and hit that door. I was bound to catch a girl one of these days, so get out and find yourself another roosting place. Cause the jig's up, baby. Yes, the jig's up, baby. Yes, the jig's up, baby. Yes, the jig's up, baby. You know the jig's up, baby. You know the jig's up, baby. You know the jig's up, baby.
What they do? Slip on the echo there? Do you hear that part where just the echo was like really loud there? That's interesting there. The Jerry McCain there, not playing the harmonica there, but that is like a cool up tempo by him. December 57 on the Excello record label. The jig's up. Well, the jig is almost up. 2 more 78s to go, and this is a flip side from the last 78 show. We go to George Goldner's G record label for Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, featured their 6th release on the G record label from October. Well, I should say this record, this song I played was called Teenage Love, was released in January of 1957. Alan Freed, I don't know if Alan Freed played this side, though. I don't think he did, but this is a song I first heard on the Gus Gossard Show. Let's flip over Teenage Love by Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. This is with Jimmy Wright and the orchestra. Lots of echo on this from January 57. The Teenagers. Frankie Lyman on lead. It's called Paper Castles. Go. That's the great sound of Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers there. December 1957, well, no, I'm sorry, January 1957. That's on George Goldner's G record label. That is Jimmy Wright and the orchestra there. That is the flip side of Teenage Love, a song entitled Paper Castles. That's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyltreasure Show. There you go, Joe Shacatano, a marathon show on a Thursday afternoon. That's because Johnny G babbling on a lot here, as it wouldn't be the same if I didn't babble on with the tunes. And I only picked out 38 78s is what I did. And now here I am, I play 50. I play 50 on on Saturday nights. But anyway, thank you all for being here on this 78 show. And if you did enjoy this, please let Johnny G know. Send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. And those of you picking up some new listeners here, Jade Z, thank you for that. And also Segway Forever, thank you all for coming in here and checking out the show. Much appreciated. And please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed what you heard. I'll be back in 2 weeks for more 78s out of my collection. I'll be back on Saturday night beginning at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. till midnight with all your requests. So if you haven't sent me your requests, Mike Say, please do that. And then we'll it's just a whole lot of fun and a whole lot of A lot of cool records that you'll hear on the program. Again, thank you. And we're going to close the show. This 78, I know it's a hit, but it has a phenomenal sound. So much better than the 45. I'm going to test the copyright police on this too. Of course, this singer, he was the lead singer of the Dominoes back in 1953, but he left to form the Drifters on the Atlantic record label, and but he would go solo in July of 1955, and this was his 11th of 17 releases on the Atlantic record label, and I think that's right. I might have messed that up here because I wasn't I copied this in the last minute, but anyway, we're just going to play it. This is actually a pretty late for a 78. This one came out in September of 1958. So this 78 is as old as your disc jockey, Johnny G. We're closing tonight with Clyde McPhatter on the Atlantic record label, and his tune called A Lover's Question. Again, if you have any questions, you can email Johnny G. We'll be testing you on the next show on everything that you heard. That's it, folks. Johnny G is out of here. Hope you enjoyed the tunes. I'll see you next time right here on the Vinyltreasure Show. Just want to say, everybody, so long, Clyde McPhatter. Listen to the fidelity.
Bum 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 bum.
Does she love me with all her heart? Should I worry when we're apart? It's a lover's question I'd like to know. Does she need me as she pretends? Is this a game? Well then will I win? It's a lover's question I'd like to know. I'd like to know when she's not with me, if she's still true to me. I'd like to know when we're kissing, does she feel just what I feel? And how am I to know it's really real? Oh, tell me where the answer lies. Is it in her kiss or in her eyes? Well, it's a lover's question I'd like to know. I'd like to know when she's not with me, if she's still true to me. I'd like to know when we're kissing, does she feel just what I feel? And how am I to know it's really real? Oh, tell me where the answer lies. Is it in her kiss or in her eyes? It's a lover's question I'd like to know. I'd like to know. I'd like to know.